This is a video of a roof rack I fitted to my Jeep TJ. I found it fits quite tidily onto the roof of the hardtop. Now I understand the roof it's not designed at all really to have a roof rack fitted to the top. It's not structurally designed for it, but I found this one I created seems to for light use anyway, for the things I need. It's not going to be a heavy thing or putting huge weights on the roof. I don't think a real one exists. I couldn't find one that would fit on the roof rather. So what I sort of looking at vehicles as they're going along, trying to find out one with a flat roof that would match the sort of quite flat roof we got on the Jeep. And I eyed up the Mitsubishi L200 has a roof rack on, or quite often has a roof rack on it. Well, from a few, from the early 2000s, and you can pick these up as quite cheap units for, I don't know, 40 quid or something like that, 20 quid for a roof rack. It is too large as it stands for the roof, so I also wanted one that had connections here, so you could cut it back, and then put these into the extrusion a little bit earlier on. So this has been sawn back about, well, it was probably out to about here previously. So I cut it, sliced it, and then put these fittings back into the metal extrusion that sort of goes along there. So weaknesses, it's got seals on here that are pretty good, and it's got 3 attachment points. I want as many attachment points as possible because of the delicate nature of the roof. It's quite sturdy, it's quite thick. I think it's fiberglass or some strange plastic they make the roof out of this car. It's connected, so you see the bolts got bolt covers on there with washers, rubber, and then washers there. What are larger ones really, so they would take the strain, because I don't think the pressure coming down is too much. It's it being lifted up, sort of with this aerodynamics as you're going along. But as you know, with TJs, I don't like going very fast with stuff. They get pretty noisy, so you don't go more than about 50 or 60 miles an hour. 50 is really, it starts getting annoying. I don't know if that's because of I put a new seal on here, but you get wind noise coming along here, really. Quite a lot on the cars. I don't know if you can just cover that with tape to stop the noise coming through, but that's a side issue. Anyway, so you had this roof rack from a Nissan L200, not a Nissan, Mitsubishi. It's fitted in 3 points, and then I also got some crossbars on the roof, which also needed cutting shorter. They're universal ones, about 40 or 50 quid, and cutting and then clamping as they would normally do onto the bars to sort of strengthen them. And as you can see, I've got one of these roof awnings got from China, which was very cheap in China, but the import duties and sort of costs of postage sort of negated really any gain of the cheapness of the item in China. But it's the same one that all the companies seem to use, with these straps that hold it. It's not particularly good. I don't know how it's going to do in the weather, but this one's got a light in it, but it's not too heavy. It's about 15 kilos or something like that. Not even that, maybe. So it's not too much of a stress on the roof, and it seems to, you can't really hear this. The noise always seems to come from here when you're driving along, not this big lump of metal now on the roof. But it fits on quite well, and the Jeep being quite high car, you sort of, it's above some 6 foot, sort of fits on quite nicely. Also, I use these. Well, I find with these detachable roof awning detaching. They've got locks on the bottom of them. You can see there. You pull out this clip, and then it'll just fold up and then out. So you can quite easily detach. If you want to drive off and go out somewhere, you can quite easily detach this awning from the car if you want to go out somewhere, because it's rather than the hassle of sort of rewinding it and rolling it back into its holster, which is can be a bit of a hassle. But that's my roof thing then, really. And I don't know whether people have got any other better ideas to use, or saying you shouldn't use it in the first place, which is probably right, but certainly you're not going to have a roof box or anything like that, or a roof tent or something like that. I've never considered something like that on the roof, but something like this, it works pretty well. I'm hoping it does anyway. It seems to be good so far.